Chris Janzon, thank you so much for joining me today.
Lisa B, thank you for having me. Real honor and privilege to have this time with you.
Today, I want to talk about the year that's been that you have been our head
Mm,
of country in eXp. And just on behalf of all the agents, thank you for that and the sacrifices that you've made in doing that role, because I know you never stop. You are 7 days a week. And we'll go into some of that later on as well. But wow, what you guys have achieved, you and the corporate team this year, what you've achieved has just been nothing short of I think, phenomenal, as well as massive changes that we've had in the organization, which, as we know, people don't like change, and some
mm,
people. You had to drag along, and I was one of those people in some of the things going, oh my God, I can't do it. Now I'm used to change, oh my God, I can't do another
mm,
change. But I tell you what, the foundations that we have now are amazing. And it was stuff that needed to be done. So we needed somebody to come in
mm,
like you that made the hard decisions against everybody complaining, or not everybody complaining, some people complaining about, don't want change, don't want change. And like I said, that's
mm.
understandable. Um, but the foundations that we have now for us to build on is incredible. So I just wanted to go through some of those things to sort of highlight, I guess, the show reel of what you and the corporate team, Tony and Kirsten, and everybody that's contributed to this. Um,
Mm,
so first of all, is we changed our CRM, which has just been
yeah.
phenomenal. And
Mm,
what do you see that change has actually given us? Like, from we had Agent Box before, so to change to Rex Enterprise now. So what
yeah.
has that given us extra?
Firstly, let me just start off by saying thank you for that introductory. That means the world to me from somebody like yourself who is growing the largest team in our organization locally. And not just attracting, but retention is a focus of yours. And you provide a lot of value to your team and members and the whole team abroad, right? In terms of training and support. So thank you because change isn't ideal, but it's inevitable. And we're a company that's always at the forefront of evolution and breaking the traditional norms. So thank you. I've been incredibly honored and privileged in my role. To be in leadership, you're only as strong as the people behind you. And the people behind me in corporate support are a massive part of the huge success that 2025 was. We had to pivot. The company had been in existence for about 5 years now. And as most businesses do, you have a bit of growth in those early stages and you plateau a little bit. So last year was really setting the cornerstone and making some critical and tough decisions, but for the betterment of our model and organization and our agents and attractors for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the CRM, um, we had pain points that were sort of starting to increase in terms of the support that we could provide to our agents. So we had increased support issues that was bottlenecking us. We had issues with things like API costs for our agents and agency websites.
Huge. Yeah.
We had a lot of agents that were spending, $400-500 a month on top of their CRM to get support with automation, such as electronic marketing and newsletters, SMS automation, all of that. So, what we did, and having been, I'm an agent that had been using Agent Box myself religiously for 10 years. Change was obviously met with a bit of scarcity from myself, right? Because I'm accustomed to my CRM every day, what it does for me.
Yeah.
But we didn't know what was out there. So we went on this exciting research R&D analysis, I guess you could say, over 12 months. And what we looked at is we know what we've got, but
Mm.
how can we make it better
Yeah.
for our agents? And we moved to Rex because when we looked at all the CRMs across the country, there was two that really stood out, and Rex was obviously one of them, particularly in the AI space.
Mm.
Some CRM providers were saying AI is coming. Rex had it now.
Yeah.
The automation space. So a lot of our agents could get rid of their third-party additional subscriptions and get the same value inside the Rex CRM within their existing eXp subscription. So they were saving money off their bottom line.
Yes.
So it was a number of factors. Obviously, we have local support. We have an account director, so we deal with someone here. It's not all online ticket support or chatting to a bot online when we need support. But just things like website creation, being able to help our agents at a very affordable rate build and launch their own agent and agency websites. Open API automation, unlimited and free, where a lot of these CRM providers were charging an ongoing monthly cost.
Yeah. Just
But
explain
the
what that
advancements
means.
in AI.
Just explain that means,
Yeah,
because a lot of
so
people don't know what an API is. Yeah.
Sure. So a lot of agents, if they have their own website and they maybe build it themselves, or they've got a provider to build it for them, some CRMs will charge you an automated feed, let's call it. So when you load a listing through your CRM platform, it goes live to real estate, to domain, but it might not go through to that agent's or agency's website. And some CRM providers will allow us an API, an automated feed, to go to your website, but they want to charge you to build it, and then they want to charge you to host it and manage it on a monthly basis.
Mhm.
Can be quite exorbitant. But an API code, once it's built, that's it. You've got it for life. It's not something that needs to be maintained and really managed.
Mm.
So our former provider had an expensive cost to do that for our agents and agencies. So if an agent was coming to us, said, I've got my own website, Chris, I want my listings to feed through to that no differently like
That's the whole thing.
realestate.com.au. I want it to go through to the sold section on my own website. They would have to have paid a former ongoing monthly cost. Whereas with our current CRM provider, Rex, it's at no cost. It's free and it's unlimited. They can point their traffic to
Mm.
any sites that they choose
So
themselves.
integrations of their
So that was
websites, yeah, is so much cheaper and easier. Yeah.
Yeah, there was that. There was data conflicts. So our former provider treated us on a state-based account level.
Mm.
So we would have agents come to us and say, "Chris, I've got 3,000 records. Can you please load it into the CRM?" We would go to do that, and it would come back and said, "Sorry, you can't load these 1,500 contacts because within the state that you're in, Lisa B in Queensland has 15 of those contacts already in the CRM, so we can't allow duplicate contacts with same name, mobile, email."
So
So we were
stupid.
bottlenecking in trying to bring in agents that couldn't load in data because somebody else may have met that
Own the
person 5 years
private.
ago at an open inspection.
So
And
dumb.
no one owns data, right? So what we've done with Rex, and this is a massive win, we have an enterprise national account, and all our agents' account sits below that, but all our agents have their own unique ID, agency IDs. So no one can see each other's data.
Yeah.
Lisa B can enter in an individual in her state, and I can enter in that same individual if I meet an open inspection that weekend as well. There's no conflict.
Yeah.
As to who manages it, nurtures it, and gets the business, that's up to the one that's in pursuit of that data the most.
Yeah.
So that was a huge win. The other thing with the CRM is our agents have full control,
Mm.
right? So they can import, export their data at free will. There's no lockdown. So they control their intellectual property. They control their own look and feel. So what their marketing goes out like. If you want to be self-branded, have your own unique, color palettes and logos, you can control it all yourself. No different to a principal and an agency in the CRM in an office.
Mm.
We treat it the same here with our cloud-based solution in the CRM space.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so
So
then, and there's also lead generation with Rex now too, isn't there?
yeah, so we looked at AI functionalities, automations, cost savings to us as an organization, and the benefits that directly influence our agents and their bottom line as well. Obviously, things like websites, data as well. Our agents also have the ability to share and collaborate on listings as well. So if you want to share an agent's listing on your newsletter, you can cross collaborate. Okay, so but you assign that permission, you have full control of that permission. But yeah, so what was the question again, Lisa? It was around the
Lead generation
lead
with Rex.
generation. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's I get passionate about CRM. Sorry if
Yeah,
I'm
that's
asking to
all right.
repeat the question, but um, so yeah, that's probably the second biggest question I receive in my role is what do you do to support us in lead gen?
Mm.
And we provide a lot of training in this space, but a lot of agents just want to control it and have it and do it themselves. So we use a platform called Rex Reach, which is literally a click, drag, and drop to create a lead generation campaign, whether it be for awareness, whether it be for engagement, whether it be for lead capturing. And it's very easy. It's not like you need to understand the back end of Meta and the whole Meta ads back end because those algorithms are always changing. So it's an extension to the agent CRM. So number one, you can actually retarget through social your database of clients already sitting in that ecosystem through Rex Reach.
Mm.
So if you've got them in your CRM, they're going to see you on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google, of the likes. Okay.
Awesome.
Simplicity was a big thing. So
Mm.
if anyone's tried to build through Ads Manager a Meta lead capture campaign,
Mm.
it's quite complex
Yeah.
and the parameters are always evolving. Whereas this is literally simplistic 101.
Mm.
If you can create a Canva image, It will help you with AI creation in the campaign as well, but it will help you just automate and drive your own campaigns rather than outsourcing it at an expensive cost to get a third party supplier to provide it all for you. We help you drive your lead generation within your business through Rex Reach. It's automatically plugged into your CRM. And then we provide ongoing support and training around that. So you have the platform, you can drive it and own it yourself because no one talks to their data, their community, their
Mm.
people better than the agent,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
And sometimes outsourcing that's where there's a disconnect. So
Mm.
we provide the platform and then we provide the ongoing training and support around that platform.
Amazing. Now, another thing that we had as a company was the realestate.com fiasco that was happening every year. Because being a national
Yeah.
company, we had some people that were very passionate about standard subscription, and we had some
Mm,
who were very
yep.
passionate about Premier All. And so
Yep.
it was very difficult to try and come up with something with realestate.com where we could keep all of our agents happy. And you managed to do that, which solved a lot of angst, a lot of stress with a lot of the agents. And wasn't it stressful
Mm.
every single year when it came up for renewal? It's like, oh my God, because you couldn't just have one subscription to make everybody happy, but you've achieved that. So can you
Yeah.
explain what you did with that?
Yeah, Tony, Kirsten, and I did a lot of work in this space, and it was tough. It was relentless negotiations
Mm,
for these providers to understand that we're not a local office
yeah.
that has a shop front, and that's how they treat a lot of these subscriptions and accounts. Is
Mm,
you have a bricks and mortar location, whereas we're a cloud-based model, we're a national model, we're a global platform, right? So we've been working with these suppliers to look at the bigger picture of what's here, not coming, but cloud-based options are most certainly here, and we're one of the biggest, if not the biggest, on the globe. But we looked at it from the point of view of, okay, there was a lot of divide. Everyone had their different opinions from state to state, what subscription worked best in their local marketplace. So immediately there was divide within the community. There was divide in terms of our branding consistency as a model across the country. In some states, we were very strong from a branding perspective. In other states, we weren't even being seen. So
mm,
that obviously can be an influence on market share,
mm,
but also attraction and growth. Um, and then there was the fiscal, decision. Certain subscriptions cost the organisation a lot more than
mm,
others, right? So we wanted to create unity. We wanted to create continuity, both for our agents,
mm,
both for their consumers, and what we stood for from a brand integrity point of view.
mm,
So we have now successfully launched with the biggest portal in Australia, a national subscription. So they treat us as a national cloud-based model.
yeah.
With that, we have Premier Plus across all the states now from a continuity perspective, but also being compassionate and supportive of those that still sell standard listings to this day in regional locations, or they do more social and video ads rather than just focus on the big portal as well and advertising, which I totally get that. I've done it myself. We now have unlimited standard subscriptions. So our agents essentially are getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah. And sorry,
Our branding on that,
so is the consumer. The consumer gets to choose now as
yeah, they
well.
get choice.
Yeah.
They get
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
love. Yeah, sorry. I
So
interrupted
they
you there.
get choice, which creates options in pricing. That's a great point, Lisa. Thanks for bringing that because as much as we're for the agents exist because of their clients. So if we can give
Yeah.
our agents choice, it's benefits their business, which benefits their clients ultimately as well.
Yeah.
So that's been a huge win. We were one of the first of its like across the country to achieve
Mm,
that milestone with the biggest portal and platform here in Australia. Wasn't easy, but it's given our agents a lot more choice.
yeah, which is awesome. And we don't have that angst every year. Okay, so
Yes.
REA Ignite Pro as well. Do you want to explain
Yep.
that? Yep.
Yep. Yeah. So the Ignite Pro was something, again, we negotiated with realestate.com.au. So essentially, if an agent takes out their own REA subscription, which they have the choice with our model, you can stay with our branding and our accounts, or you can take out your own. It's $3.99 to take out your own REA Premier Plus subscription on a monthly basis. With us, so we've negotiated in our national account and subscription that all our agents, if they're plugged into our account, will get Ignite Pro included, which is another $399 of value. So if an agent goes out today and wants their own Ignite Pro, it's going to cost them $400 a month. Okay. Now, what that does for our agents, it elevates them on realestate.com and their Ignite agent profile.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're seen more where sellers and consumers are going and buyers on the largest portal across the country. The other thing that it does, it generates seller leads for for our agents, which is really cool because it creates a propensity score. Realestate.com have a massive database, obviously. A lot of the data that's housed in there are buyers, but also homeowners and future sellers. So
Mm.
what that is enabling for us in our subscription is it's mining those inquiries, that data and those opportunities,
Mm.
and it's finding seller leads directly for our agents as part of our Real Estate Ignite Pro subscription, all included in our existing EXP subscription.
And it's $275 a
Massive
month.
win.
Yeah, 275 bucks a
Yeah,
month
and
to
it's
have
a
all.
massive win.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome.
Well, we just spoke about lead gen, and this is another extension from,
Mm.
digital platforms and social platforms. This is an extension on the biggest portal where
Yeah.
it's mining seller leads for our agents.
Yeah, perfect. Another thing you implemented was the best marketing that we had with Wingman. That is by far the best marketing we've had since we started here in the country. A lot of people come to me and just say, "Oh my God, it's so good," and just the variety and everything that they have. So that was an
Mm.
amazing thing to do as well.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at our marketing historically, and I looked at, I guess, the consistency and repetition of it and what we stood for, again, with our own brand and who we proudly are. And I identified some opportunities, and that's where I really wanted to tighten up in collaborating with Wingman Creative. Marketing's one of these things, there's only so much one resource can do, okay, in the marketing space. So we essentially went out there and we said, we want somebody that's one plus one equals eight people essentially, right? Because as you know, in marketing, you need a videographer, you need a social person, you need a website designer, you need a podcaster, you need an editor, you need an electronic marketer that does EDMs and newsletters, branding. Like there's so many hats the marketing people wear, and it's hard for one person to be able to control all of that. So one of the real perks with Wingman Creative, again, we deal with account director here locally in Australia. So we've got a physical contact that works side by side with us. We meet with them on a weekly basis, and they understand our business. They
Mm.
understand who we are. They understand our agents and their needs. And they've really tailored the marketing around that, understanding who we are and our model and what we need. You're right, it's a testament. I've had more agents internationally reaching out to us from other
Yeah,
countries saying, your marketing is some of the best. I've had comments on my own socials, on our social pages. Your
yeah,
marketing is some of the best outside of North America and Canada that we've seen internationally.
yeah.
So that's a real proud moment when other agents are seeing what we're doing proudly to fly the EXP flag with branding integrity and, consistently in that space.
Yeah. And you've listened to what agents want, and you're a lot more patient with things than what I am with things. But I tell you what, you do listen, and people wanted a newsletter. So, and I thought, oh, that's a bit of a waste of resources, to having a newsletter with the time and everything. But you guys have it all the time. You've got a newsletter there that announces awards, that announces everything that's happening. So it's a point of contact for agents. They can go in and see what's happening, and that must take. Is it
Yeah.
Tony that puts that together? That must take forever. But a couple of people ask for something, and then you guys go and do it, and it really is about the agent and making them happy. And you've aimed to do that to the best of your ability. You and the corporate team. I can say that.
Thank you, Lisa. The Agent Pulse publication, I've said it many times. It's my favorite time of the month when that comes out.
Definitely.
But we do a big Agent Pulse publication, which is kind of a summary of everything. But then we do, because we respect our agents, they all respond to different styles of communication. Some love SMS, some love email, some love phone calls, right? So we need to cater for all our agents' needs, right? So the newsletter is just another contact point outside of calls and SMSs and Slack and celebrating our news and announcements on a weekly basis.
Mm.
But it's all things what's happening. Like one of the real passions of mine is I lead from the front and I'm a general in the trenches with our troops, right? So I want them to understand the bigger picture in everything that we're doing, in every decision that we're making, because they're a part of it. And every decision we make at the forefront of our decision in local leadership is this the most agent-centric decision we could make for our agents and attractors?
Yes.
And the newsletter is just part of helping people be part of that vision and what we're working on. Because a lot of stuff happens behind the scenes in corporate, right? Our agents don't see that. So how
Mm.
do we convey what's happening, what's the bigger picture, what's coming, what's new and exciting, what are our challenges too, though, what
Yeah.
are our wins and celebrations.
Yeah, definitely. And awards, some of the agents said, well, we'd like to have awards. So you've put that together. So that's a big thing to put together as well. To have our quarterly awards, our yearly awards and all that sort of thing. Like that is a massive effort as well. But the agents asked and you delivered again.
Yeah, I mean, look, agents love to celebrate, and deservingly so. There's a lot of hours that happen away from their families, right? And one of the things being an online cloud business is we can't just easily get together on a
Mm,
quarterly basis at a certain location because we're spread across the whole country.
yeah.
But we didn't want to acknowledge the importance of unity and getting everybody together, whether it's in person or online, to
Mm,
acknowledge our top performers, our most improves.
yeah.
So it's something I look forward to. We have a quarterly award to acknowledge
Mm,
our top quarterly performers across the states and nationally, and then we have an annual one. Yes, it's about the second week, 19th of January, I think the last one was,
mm,
to acknowledge the previous year top five by state by GCI and volume,
yeah.
the top 25,
Mm,
and then the overall national top five in GCI
mm,
and volume as well.
yeah.
And one of the things I was most proud about in acknowledging those in 2025, we've seen more new names in the
Mm,
last 12 months come into that top 25 and into the state's top five than ever before. So it's showing that new people that are coming into our model, and some of them, they've only been with us for a year or two, are already finding quick success in absolutely getting up in the rankings within those awards and recognition.
yeah, definitely. And also, too, we've got our new eXp website. That's not an easy thing to put together, and others had tried, and you you guys have actually succeeded. So
Yeah.
that's a massive thing to do as well, which is awesome. And we've had lots of even Ray Wood the other day said, "Oh, the website's amazing." So getting a lot of feedback about that too, which is great. I mean, there's still little things. It's only just been launched. We still got to get some of the photos right and all that sort of stuff. But that's just getting the agents to do that. But I mean, it's amazing compared to it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we really pride ourselves on as an organization is we promise progress, but not always perfection, right? And we
Exactly.
have to be moving forward. We're very nimble, we're very agile. But the great thing about the intellectual property we now have is that we actually own it and we control it. So whether you go to our consumer-facing website,
Mm,
expaustralia.com.au, that's an AI generative website. We control that now, right? Whereas before we were dealing with a third party. If we needed things taken care of, it was
and
very
they wouldn't do
cumbersome
it.
and took a lot of time. They wouldn't
Yeah.
do it. It was frustrating and it was incredibly expensive. So it wasn't good for our bottom line.
Yes.
Then there was our attraction site. We completely overhauled that for
Mm,
those that want to grow a team, a downline, an organization, yourself, myself, and others included.
yeah.
And what I did there is I looked at, well, who are our competitors and how do we benchmark against them? And when I compared our attraction site against some of our competitors, we were well behind.
Mm,
To the point I was almost somewhat a little bit embarrassed of the former space we were sending prospect agents to.
yeah.
So in the early period of 2025, we overhauled the entire attraction website.
Mm,
It's literally about to be updated now in 2026 with some enhancements and more additions that we've added to our value add stack.
mm,
But again, we've got full control of it. We've built it out. It's a new generational website, and it now puts us at the same level, if not better, than models we compete against in this
yeah.
space across the country. So that when people are directing agents to us and saying, hey, this is why you should consider us and be proud about it, we now have an incredible space for agents to be proud about when attracting others to our model.
Exactly, more foundations. Then another thing we've just released is the microsite. So I don't even like calling it a microsite because it's not, to me, it's not a microsite. It comes off our website, but it's got blogs, it's got everything. It is a website for agents. I'm never calling it a microsite again because it's not.
Yeah.
It's a full website, really. So if an agent doesn't have a website now, they're working for somebody else, you get fully branded to yourself. You can, make changes to it. You can add photos, you can change the text, you can do lots of different things with it, add blogs. It's amazing. And that's what agents want. They want to build on these things. And we've given them the
Mm.
platform to do that, which is amazing.
100%. We've had now 50 agents take up the free microsite option or agent, let's just call it agent site, right? Because,
Business website.
people come to us and so many agents to this day still don't have their own landing space, right?
No,
They're
they
still
have no
directing
website.
channels to their office or
Mm,
third-party portals that we were just talking about, right? All that goodwill traffic
yeah,
going somewhere else. So
yeah,
we're all about centralizing that traffic and helping our agents in the GEO space, which is replacing SEO, generative engine optimization, because the consumer's going on to AI to search for things more so than Google these days, right?
yeah.
So we wanted to be in that space to help our agents. So if someone's looking for a local agent in their community and they're going to ChatGPT of
Siri
the likes or
or
Gemini
yeah,
or Siri, it's gonna help prompt
yeah.
that our agents who are available in the geo space are there. So it puts them at the forefront.
Yes, exactly. It's amazing. Our agent production is the highest it's been in 6 years as well, which is a massive thing that we've yeah, building the foundations again.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we're about attraction in our model, retention is just as important, but also productivity.
Mm,
And if we look across the country, many states, we're probably in the biggest listing inventory shortfall that we've seen for generations, right? So I'm very proud, and not everything can be measured in success in a balance sheet or a P&L, but one of the metrics, the key metrics that I'm most proud of from last year is that we had the highest level of agent production in 2025
mm,
in the entire model's existence over 5 years here in Australia. So what that's telling us is those that are already with us are winning and producing. Those that are joining us are also winning and producing in quick succession.
mm.
Because agent production, it's not just about turnover, it's about the agent and their take home. And if they're producing and winning, we all win together. So, very proud. We had 10 months last year where we paid out more commission historically to our agents
Yeah.
than any prior year. And that's
So
really what it's about because we are there for the agent. We're there to serve the agent. And the more that they're winning, earning, keeping, it's
mm,
a win-win for all of us. So very proud of our agent production last year and continuing to 2026. But that comes down to the support, the training, all the things that
yeah,
we've almost had to turn the corner last year and create this cornerstone, the foundation to
yeah.
solidify our position into 2026 and beyond.
Definitely. I see you, Kirsten, Tony, and the rest of the guys, they just don't stop. You don't stop. So
Yeah.
tell us what a day looks like for you. Like what are you
Mm.
handling at the moment? I mean, so much. I don't know how you do it. Like apart from, yes, all the stuff that we just spoke about in the last year, it was like website this. So, like all of those things that you were negotiating and all the things. Then you've got, we've got, say, 180, 190 real estate agents that all want part of your time. You've got your corporate staff that want part of your time. What are you
Mm.
doing every day? Like, just how do you handle what you do every day?
Great question. No day is the same, that's for sure. But,
Um,
I've been in the industry transactional wise and growing real estate businesses myself for 18 years, Lisa. And
mm,
I've been involved in corporate and run companies myself for 20 plus years. And
mm.
hand on heart, I'd have to say that we've got the strongest support team that I've ever seen,
Yeah, I
even
agree.
having my own previous businesses and support team.
Yeah,
The reason being, is the values of our corporate support team and their beliefs is it's not a job.
mm,
This is a way of life for them, and it provides a lifestyle for them as much in their roles
yeah,
as it does for our partnered agents. And that's really the key mix here. Is if you get somebody who loves the lifestyle that their role brings them, their job, let's call it. And now we help our agents achieve the same with our model in finding the lifestyle and the business balance that they crave and desire and deserve. If you can get that harmoniously to come together, that's where you get this phenomenal, beautiful mix of corporate support that are here for the right reasons,
yeah,
and agents that are relishing and are happy. But for me, look, yesterday was Sunday. I was working with one of our partnered agents who was a little bit upset about some social media content and wanted my compliance hat on to critique it and what she'd advise if it was correct. So, keeping morale happy, fiduciary obligation to our agents, make sure they're doing compliantly the right things, educating them, advising them. So the role is quite mixed. I mean, it's not just a growth role 100% of the time where I'm
Mm.
sitting here and leads come to me and I'm just chatting to external agents.
No.
We're wearing many hats at any given time, as any director is in any business, right? So a portion of my day is on compliance,
Mm.
right? Whether it's dealing with escalations. Last week I had three major escalations across three different states that if we probably didn't step in and try and resolve them, it was potentially going to be litigation or a claim, right? So defusing those situations is
Mm.
vital. That minimises risk to the organisation, minimises risk to our agents. So compliance is a big part as a licensing bona fide control,
Mm.
and it's really to be there as a support mechanism for our agents to educate them, to minimise risk to them and our businesses.
Yeah.
Growth is a part. Yes, I talk to many industry agents externally and agencies across the country that are
Mm.
looking at us. And some of these conversations, it's not one conversations, it could be 20, 30 conversations of nurturing over a
Mm.
many years of period of time
Yeah.
before they come and join us and partner their business or businesses with us. So
Yeah.
that's a part. Supporting our corporate team.
Mm.
I treat them as if they're my own staff. I lead from the front with them.
Yeah.
If they need me, I'm there for them. Retention. We got to make sure our people are happy because there's no point bringing in people in the funnel if it's escaping at the bottom of the funnel because, as I said before, attraction's just as important to us as retention is.
Yeah.
But also, a lot of the technology stuff, because we are a technology platform as well as an agent platform, with the innovative change that comes, Tony and I often drive it from the front. So when we went through the CRM change, like we hosted over 50 individual training sessions
Yeah, which is
because
crazy.
we were in the
Yeah.
tech platform. We were using it. We were testing it. We were breaking it. So a
Yeah.
lot of the tech evolution that comes that has to be rolled out, it falls on us, not
Mm.
always the suppliers.
No.
So we have to roll it out with confidence. We have to understand it.
Yeah.
If things break, we have to step in and fix it. It's not a role that you can just pass the buck and say deal with the supplier.
No.
We have to own it and we have to be accountable to that tech
Yeah.
evolution
Because
and any
it's
change our agents experience.
a role play, Chris, I can't get my listing. Chris, I can't do this. Chris, I can't do that. You can't say, oh, sorry, just ring them on Monday. You
Yeah.
jump in and help, and you have to know all of the platforms. And because you're listing and selling, as you said, you're a general in the trenches. And so you
Mm.
understand about the listing, about the selling, about the processes, about our CRM, because you've researched it extensively and you're using it as well as everything
Yeah.
else. And you've made all those contacts and all that sort of stuff. So, you're able to, really sort out a problem a lot quicker because you know what to do yourself. And it's hard. Real estate, we have a lot of big egos in real estate. And you've got to
Mm.
try and help all of those agents and all that sort of stuff. And agents that want to come in and partner with us, like you said, you've always got to try and juggle the personalities and try and come up with the best outcome. And we're not always going to make everybody happy, but gosh, you really, really try and
We
make
try. We
them
try our
happy.
absolute best.
Yeah, you really
Yeah, I
do.
think a lot of agents in our industry they come from traditional environments,
Mm.
an office, right? And if something's broken or not right, or they need help or support, what do? They pick the phone up and they speak to the office manager or general manager or generally the principal if it's small to medium enterprise, right?
Yeah.
So what happens when you come to a cloud-based environment? They're still going to want somebody to call, to contact, to reach out to. So that's why we have to make ourselves readily available. And I've always said to our partner agents, I'm available to you as a leader in the organisation and as a licensee,
Mm.
7 days a week. The only reason I won't be available is if I'm at a family event or function. You got to give me some time. But as soon as I get home, I will jump in. And if you want that listing live, I'll make it happen for you. Or if you need something compliantly checked, I mean, I had Bori sending me a $5.5 million deal yesterday that he needed some support around. We were talking about it, fleshing it out on a Sunday afternoon.
So
Why? I'm in the car, I'm driving, I'm accessible, I'm available to our
yeah.
people. This
Actually,
isn't a
yeah.
7 day, this isn't a 5 day gig, right? Our
No.
agents are operating 7 days a week. So
Yeah.
how do you support people 7 days a week? You have to be available. I hate to tell it, unless if you don't want to be available 7 days a week, then you got to make some decisions where you want to be because the expectation from our agents is they're working 7 days a week, six
Yeah.
days at minimum.
Yeah.
So if they need support out of hours, what does that look like? How does that function? How does that work for them?
Yeah, exactly. And something we forgot to say. So you're a licensee of how many states in Australia? And this I can't get my head around. I had to do the CPT points for New South Wales the other day, and it's like it's never
Yeah,
ending. It's so many. So you're going to spend like, a month of your life doing CPD points. Like, good gosh.
yeah.
Okay. So where are you the licensee of around Australia right now?
5 states at the moment. So WA, SA, Queensland, New South Wales, and Tasmania.
Yes.
We're close to launching and activating an ACT as well, followed by NT. Look, that won't be forever. Being a bona fide licensing control in one state is challenging enough. So there'll be a long-term succession plan in that space. But
Yes.
again, we're about progress, right? We're about growth. And I've stepped in to those roles, you know, to really support the long-term direction of the growth
Yeah.
within the model and the business.
Mm.
But look, it won't be forever. But
Yeah.
at the moment, yes, CPD points is something I have to do
Yeah.
across many of the states.
How many?
WA, SA not at the moment. New South
Oh,
Wales, yes.
that's
Queensland, yes.
Queensland.
Now,
Yes, just brought it in. Yeah.
Tasmania, yes, that will be
Uh,
required as well. So, but
okay.
it's great because it gives me a great perspective of how real estate is so similar across the country, yet it's handled so differently from regulator to regulator, state to state.
So does eXp pay you pain and suffering to do CPD points? It should be on your payslip,
No,
like
I
pain
just
and suffering, like, for CPD points as a separate thing. Oh my gosh. But anyway,
yeah,
but no,
yeah.
I just really wanted to thank you for everything that you do for our agents. And I know your heart's always in the right place, and I know you cop it sometimes, and as any leader does. But you've also had during all of that, you've also had personal stuff at home with your daughter being very, very sick. And,
Yeah.
you've had such a tough time, Chris, like you really have. And I really admire how you've handled it. And, just how you're always smiling, no matter what, you know? Even if it's
Yeah.
like, yes, it's really shitting me, but, you're always happy. You've always got the smile on your face. Yeah.
Hey, look, we've always got to be moving forward, right? And there's events that happen in life and business that we just can't control. I've always been a believer, focus on the energy, the value that you bring, and your controllables, right?
Mm.
And, last year brought some wonderful wins, some huge
Yeah.
turning points. And cornerstone and foundations, as we said, but it also brought a year of some of the toughest challenges I've ever experienced in my life, too, though, personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel it makes you a better person. It makes you be a better human being, and
Mm.
it creates a stronger leader as we move into the future,
Yeah.
which I'm really excited about. 2026. I mean, we've got some big stuff on the radar, Lisa. We're about to finalise the AML, CTF, tranche two, anti-money laundering, counter-terrorism funding stuff. So
Yeah.
we've got a couple of solutions in that space. Again, these decisions, we're looking at technology, how it can make it more seamless for our agents and their clients.
Yeah.
So we've got solutions in that space. We're going to be hosting our very first Australian eXp conference for our partners, our business partners, agents, and attractors.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a conference value add to give back to them. And we're going to have some of our internal keynote speakers,
Mm.
yourself and others on stage presenting who you are, what you do, and how you've built some wonderful, incredible businesses.
Mm.
We had 5 roadshows last year where we went to 5 states in 5 weeks. That was a long 5 week period, right? But we put ourselves on the map with those conferences. We've got a number of things, XP Commercial coming this year as well, and launching that in the commercial space. So we did a lot last year.
Mm.
We're only scratching the surface. We're only getting started. There's a lot more betterment to come, and there's a lot more great things that will follow this year as
Yeah.
well. But we're in
And
a strong position, and everything starts with the foundations.
yeah, I really feel that because, in past years, I'll be honest, like it's like, things will happen and it's like start, stop, start, stop. But I really feel like now we have a solid foundation to build on and to really, really grow.
Mm.
And yeah, sorry, you did have a daughter very sick and she's okay now, thank goodness. Gorgeous little thing she is.
Yeah,
You also had a baby
yeah,
as well. So, I mean, man, how many balls, can you juggle? You should take up juggling, I think. I reckon you
yeah.
can do it. Catch
Well,
one, catch one. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I call it spinning many plates. So
Yeah,
I don't know if I'll be any good at juggling, but spinning many plates. But look, that's part of business. That's part of what we do. And
yeah,
having direction's important. Having this role, this opportunity, and helping our people has kept me focused
yeah,
through things we went through at the tail end of last year. So very grateful for the for being able to still help, support, and serve
yeah,
whilst going through that because it kept me focused. It keeps you on track.
yeah.
And very grateful that everything for our family is going the right direction in 2026. Because as you all know, if you have a great family balance, solid foundations at home, that takes care of everything else in business.
Absolutely. Now, just on behalf of everyone at eXp, I just wanted to thank you for everything that you've done and you continue to do for everyone. And yeah, very excited about the future with our foundations that you and the corporate team have set for us. Very excited about the future. Thanks heaps, Chris.
Thanks, Lisa, for having us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.